Hello friends, I'm Mukhar Singh and welcome to our channel Mindscraft. Friends, today it's our first educational video. Okay, so we will be starting this with the introduction of commerce. So let's start. Friends, our life is full of activities that we do in day-to-day routine, right? Like eating, sleeping, going to office, going for walk. Okay, now some of the activities are done to pursue satisfaction, pleasure, that are done out of love, patriotism, like cooking food, gardening, okay, playing some games in the garden. Okay, these are the activities which are done for some pleasure or satisfaction. Okay, doing some charity work, okay, that is done for some patriotism, right? These activities are non-commercial activities, and some activities which are done with a view to earn money, with a view to earn profits. These activities like going to office is a commercial activity. Now when we say about commercial activity, these activities are taken into consideration while calculating national income of the economy, whereas non-commercial activities are not taken into consideration while calculating national income of the economy. Now, when we discuss commercial activities ahead, people are either into employment or profession or business. Now, let's discuss this one by one. So, let's understand employment first. Employment is an agreement between the employer and employee where the employee is set to or is set to do some activities, to execute some functions, to execute some task. In return, he will be getting some monetary and non-monetary benefits. Like people go to office or some work from home, but they do some task, they execute some job responsibilities for the organization. Against that, they get some monetary returns in the form of salary. Okay, some workers go in the factory, they do execute the production work, right? They get wages. Okay, so these are monetary benefits. Some employees also get some other benefits also along with the salary. So this is something, the return which they get in against the work they have performed for the organization. So this is employment, where the employee is set to take some education, formal training according to the employer, and thereafter he is eligible for getting a job. Okay, this is employment. Now we are going to discuss about profession. Now what is profession? Profession is one type of occupation wherein the one is said to have some degree, educational degree. Okay, he need to adopt some skill. Okay, and along with that he need to follow some code of conduct set up by that particular professional or that particular council and that particular profession. Like example, for being a lawyer you need to have a relevant degree like LLB, right, or LLM for becoming a magistrate. But in this legal profession, like the lawyers have a council, that is the bar council, and they set up some code of conduct which the person who is into profession, legal profession, who is the lawyer, okay, he need to obey that code of conduct. Okay, so this is very mandate for the professional to follow this code of conduct after, like, along with the persuasion of degree or skill. Now talking about business. business is a continuous activity of providing goods and services to satisfy human wants and needs and demands for getting profit or some monetary returns. Now, business is something which is very necessary for the society to get developed. Okay, so now business, if we talk about in detail, business is either into production of goods or services or into distribution of goods and services. Now let's break up this business. Now, as we talk about, business is either into production of goods or services. So we will be talking about the production where some goods are getting manufactured. Okay, the finished goods are getting manufactured. Okay, so it involves the industry part. Now, what is industry? Industry is the conversion of raw materials, natural resources into a finished goods. Okay, it involves the it relates with the production, okay, processing, raising, breeding, okay, of natural resources, and it deals into converting the natural resources into the finished goods. This is what industry is. We also sometimes refer industry as the group of firms designing or manufacturing a particular good or service, like textile industry, education industry, banking industry. This is all industry where all the firms of the relevant nature are producing a particular good or they are rendering a particular service. Like all the textile firms, they are into textile business. All the banks collectively are constituting banking industry. So let's understand about industry. Now, industry is classified into primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. Now, primary industry means where the natural resources would be would be the end result. Basically, we will take the example of farming or mining. Okay, this is the result where the inputs are done, are employed, and the end result is like either a crop or the mine is extracted from a ore. So the primary industry is classified as extraction industry or genetic industry. Now, genetic industry first, if we discuss about it, it involves all those activities, okay, wherein the animals or plants are reproduced or breed. They are the breeding of living resources are done for getting economic benefit. Example: poultry farming, okay, or fish hatching. This is, we can say, genetic industry. Extractive industry is extracting the metal, metal from the ores. It is included in extractive industry. Okay. Thereafter, if we talk about secondary industry involves the conversion of raw materials, okay, the primary resources, into a finished goods. Like whatever the output was there, which was the output of the primary industry, that would be taken as a raw material and it would be converted into finished goods. Like it would be converted into a product or a service. Okay, while rendering services, these natural resources are used. Okay, and this would be converted into final goods using land, labor, and capital and the other resources. Now, this would be either a construction industry, okay, construction or manufacturing. Now, construction industry, when we talk about, it involves all those activities where roads, bridges, okay, this infrastructure wherein it is developed with the help of equipments, labor, okay, this is construction industry. Okay, and this is we can see all around us, whenever roads are developed, you can see whether many labor are employed, okay, and the final result is road, railways, okay, or we can say infrastructure is developed, okay, bridges are bridges are built. So this is construction industry. Now when we talk about manufacturing industry is further classified into 4 categories. First being analytical. Now analytical industry involves all those activities where one resource is separated to get various resources, various like end results or various things from it. Like when a crude oil is analyzed, okay, it is separated and we get diesel, we get petrol and relevant products. So what is this? This is analytical. Basically we are separating the primary resource to get other things, other resources. That is analytical industry. Second is synthetical. Synthetical industry, we can say, where many ingredients are clubbed together, okay, they are processed and you get a final product. Example, we can say cement or perfumes. While making perfumes or cement, various ingredients are clubbed together, they are processed to get a final product, that is perfume or cement, just I said. Then processing will involve like these are the stages of, these are the processing, like there are several stages, okay, which is involved while making a finished product. Like we can take the example of jam, okay, we can take the example of cheese. Several processing is done to get that final product. This is what processing is. And the last one is assembling industry. Assembling industry involves the clubbing of or assembling various components to make a final product. Okay, here the different parts are already there, they are just assembled to get a final product. Like in computer, various parts are assembled and the final product is computer. This is, we can say, assembling industry. So we have understood what is industry and the types of industry, that is analytical, synthetical, thereafter processing and assembly. Okay, so this is one aspect of business. As we have discussed, business is concerned with the production of goods and services and distribution of goods. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the distribution part. Now trade and aid to trade, this are the activities, or this is the aspect of business, okay, where these things facilitate in the distribution of goods and services. Like we are going to talk about trade part, okay, trade which is concerned with, which involves buying and selling of goods. Now when we talk about buying and selling of goods, we came across various agencies, various parties which they do not produce goods on their own, but they buy goods from the manufacturer and they store it and they sell it to the other parties for earning profits. This is called as merchandising type of business, okay, where the party is not producing on their own, but they are buying goods from one party and selling it to another party, and thus they are facilitating the distribution part of business, and they do so as the product should reach to the final consumer. Like we can say wholesalers, retailers in this type of business, what they do is they buy goods from one party and they sell it to the other party or to the final consumer for earning profit. Okay, so trade is buying and selling of goods and services. Now when we talk about trade, there are two types of trade. One is domestic trade and second one is foreign trade. Now when we talk about domestic trade, the restriction of this activity is the geographical boundary of the economy of the country. It's like in domestic trade, we can classify trade as wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade means wherein the party is the wholesaler. That wholesaler is buying goods from the manufacturer and selling it to the retailers in small quantities. The wholesaler, while buying goods from the manufacturer, he will be buying in lots, he will buy in bulk quantities, and he will be selling to the retailers in smaller quantities. Now, this is how he is going to facilitate distribution of goods. Now, talking about the retailer, as he is he is in close contact with the consumers, with the customers, he will be buying in small quantities from the wholesalers and he will be selling it to the customers, okay, according to the need which the customer is having. So this is what the role of retailer is. And wholesale and retail trade, this constitutes domestic trade. Okay, so they are different chains, like manufacturer to wholesaler, wholesaler to retailer, retailer to customer. Sometimes manufacturer to retailer, retailer to customer. Okay, sometimes manufacturer directly sell it to the customer. Okay, so there are different chains that we are going to discuss in another video. Okay, as of now you understand in domestic trade there is wholesale trade and retail trade. Now the other part of trade is international trade, where there are three types. One is import, export and entrepot. First, when we talk about import, sometimes like every country is not full of every resource. Some whatever the resource which is lacking in one country, or the particular type of goods is not there, that goods have to be imported from other country who is producing it. Okay, the country which is producing it. So when the goods are imported from another country, that is called as import. And if we are producing some goods in bulk, or we are specializing in one type of goods, producing one type of goods, then we sell it to those countries who are in need of it. That is export trade. So when we take goods from another country, that is import, and when we sell it to another country, it is export. Now there is another type, the third type, that is Entrepot, wherein what we do is we buy goods from one country, we standardize it, we label it, and we sell it to the other country. Basically what we are doing, we are importing first and thereafter we are exporting those goods. This is Entrepot. So we are in this trade, what we are doing, we are importing the goods in order to export to the other country. That is Entrepot trade. So import, export and Entrepot, these are the types of foreign trade. So this was trade. Now there are services which facilitate industry, which supports trade. Okay, and these services facilitate, assist these things, this trade and industry to flourish. Now let's have a discussion on these services. Which services are these? First, banking. Banking is that service which gives financial assistance to trade and industry. As we know, finance is the lifeblood of any business. Okay, any trade, any firm, any industry keeps on needing money, finance, and in regular course of business, in the initial stage also, and while running the business also. So banking plays a very important role. The money or the finance is the main hindrance while running a business. So banking removes this hindrance and provides finance utility to trade and industry. Second, warehousing. Warehousing is that auxiliary to trade, okay, those aid to trade and industry, which provides storage to trade and industry. Once the goods are produced, till the time they are not sold, till the time they are not into distribution, these goods would be stored at a particular place to keep it safe, okay, to create that time utility, okay, especially in the case of seasonal goods. This storage services given is warehousing, and warehousing creates time utility, okay. Third, transportation, and transportation is one of the important auxiliary to trade which is needed by industry, because raw materials has to be transported right from the primary source to the industry, so that raw materials can be processed, they can be converted into final goods, then they can be transported to the wholesaler and the retailer, and finally to the final customer, okay. So transportation plays a very important role, thus creating place and time utility for the trade and industry. Then insurance. When the goods are stored, or even the properties of the businesses, they are at high risk always. Anytime there can be threats like catching fire, goods being stolen or being spoiled. This risk are always there, as business is full of risk, okay. Some risk can be insured, and thanks to insurance, such risk can be reduced, and insurance gives that, like eases the trader, eases the business person to get that risk reduced. Like example I will give you, if in a factory goods are being stored and the value of the goods are 50 lakhs, and if the goods catches fire, if the goods are uninsured, that is a loss of 50 lakhs to the businessman. But if the goods are being insured, and if the businessman is getting insurance of rupees 45 lakh also, then he is suffering just a loss of 5 lakh. Now a loss of 5 lakh is better than a loss of 50 lakhs. This is what insurance is. And the last one is advertising, or we can say communication, where the communication, the message is given to the customer that yes, our product exists, yes, our service is meant for you, and yes, our product or service going to create magic in your life, okay. Like example, Tata Sky, it says isko laga dala to life jinga laga. So it's a message that is given to the customer that yes, our product is going to create magic in your life. This is advertising, and due to advertising the demand is getting boosted, and if the consumption is boosted, production is boosted. If the production is boosted, distribution is boosted, and this is a cycle. So this is auxiliary to trade. All these services are supporting trade and industry. So we had discussed today what is industry, types of industry, that is primary and secondary, and there is one type of industry that is service, okay. Like I said, banking, warehousing, insurance, transportation, advertising, communication, these are services, and that is also tertiary industry, which I didn't introduce you that time, but because I wanted to introduce you with these services, so all these services are included in tertiary sector, tertiary industry. So this was our video today. I hope you would have understood this video, okay. Whatever the discussion that we have done today, you would have understood it. If any queries is there, you can write in the comment section, okay. You can feel free to ask any questions. You can put up suggestions in the comment section. You can like the video, you can share with all your friends who are needing such discussions, such explanations, okay. Press the bell icon to stay updated. Thanks very much, and see you in another video.